I'm Ian Clifford, founder and CEO of eStore Corporation. Thanks for joining us as we discuss the first in a series of market-specific releases. We believe that capacitors manufactured with eStore's new high-permittivity solid-state dielectric material will price disrupt the aluminum electrolytic capacitor market, where prices are driven predominantly by cost of materials. Our future licensees will be able to build replacement capacitors that use up to 86% less material than incumbent aluminum electrolytic capacitors, or AECs for short. These AECs have comparatively short expected lifetimes, but with eStore's new dielectric material, our licensees can potentially build capacitors that dramatically extend current AEC lifetimes of between 1,000 and 10,000 hours to decades. Let's take a closer look at the current AEC market. In 2018, AECs are expected to represent a $4.6 billion market globally. AECs are utilized extensively in broad and diverse markets. These include alternative energy and LED lighting. In addition, AECs are found throughout industrial, telecommunications, automotive, military, medical, and consumer electronics applications. In other words, throughout applications that touch almost every aspect of our daily lives. According to our consultant, Dennis Zogby, AECs account for 6.5% of all capacitor shipments in terms of volume, but a full 22% of the global capacitor market in terms of US dollar value. The global market for AECs is projected to reach $5.5 billion by 2022. AECs are known for high capacitance values, but unfortunately, they possess a limited operational lifetime as the oxide layer degrades with time and temperature. Now let's turn to the benefits of eStore capacitors over AECs. eStore capacitors are significantly smaller than aluminum electrolytic capacitors for the same capacitance, and they have a much longer expected lifetime. eStore capacitors are much less expensive per farad due to our lower cost of materials and higher volumetric efficiency. And when costs are amortized over the lifetime of the devices, the cost per farad per year is drastically improved over AECs presently serving the market. The electrolytic capacitor market is currently supplied primarily by Nippon Chemicon and Nishikon, both with about 20% of the market, followed by Rubicon at 10%, TDK at 8%, and others at less than 7% each. Due to reduced cost and extended lifetimes of eStore AEC replacement capacitor solutions, we expect our licensees to gain a significant portion of the estimated $5.5 billion market for AECs by 2022. Our primary focus today, working with Dennis Zogby, is to secure these licensee relationships. In addition, our agency of record, Spark, based in San Francisco, is actively disseminating our value proposition across multiple stakeholder groups. The publication of our market-specific reports is expected to significantly increase the awareness of the disruptive nature of our technology today. Let me turn this over to Brian Kelly, our Vice President of Production, to further explain our technology advantages.
Compared to aluminum, tantalum, and plastic film-based capacitors, ceramic-based capacitors have lower cost feedstocks in barium carbonate and titanium dioxide. Since capacitors contain little to no empty space, the volume of the final part is directly related to the volume of the material needed to construct it. Our capacitors are cheaper per farad to manufacture. This is due to less expensive materials and less material costs for each farad. For a visualization of the volumetric advantage, I picked up these two cylinders. The larger cylinder is 5.8 cubic centimeters and is the exact same size as the incumbent 450 volt 10 microfarad capacitor in our comparisons. The smaller one is 0.8 cubic centimeters, which is the same size as the eStore 450 volt 10 microfarad capacitor. You can see that this incumbent is 618% bigger than this eStore version. eStore's capacitor has the same capacitance in this small volume that an aluminum electrolytic capacitor has in this larger volume. And other than this significantly smaller size, replacing aluminum electrolytic capacitors with eStore capacitors is a straightforward process for the design engineer. Saving on manufacturing cost and a longer expected lifetime combine to provide a significant advantage for this technology in the cost per farad per year. eStore's licensees are expected to displace incumbent markets for aluminum electrolytic capacitors. As Ian mentioned, these markets include renewable energy applications for inverters in wind turbine, solar farms, ocean wave generation, commercial aircraft, medical devices, oil and gas service electronics, communications infrastructure, electric rail, and automotive electronic subassemblies. eStor's composition-modified barium titanate is blended with glass, forming a hybrid dielectric. eStor's hybrid dielectrics have significantly higher permittivity than commercial dielectrics. Our Phase 7 and 8 material has been tested extensively over a 3-month period by 3 independent testing certification organizations: Intertek, Radiant Technologies, and MRA Laboratories. Details of the material performance of our dielectric layers are contained in reports from these independent testing and certification organizations that are available on our website. Lighting, utilizing light-emitting diode technology, known as LEDs, provides a good example of the lifetime issues associated with aluminum electrolytic capacitors. To be ENERGY STAR rated, the LED lights must meet lifetime requirements. The emitted light intensity of the LED lights must not drop more than 30% in 25,000 hours of operation for residential applications, and in 35,000 hours of operations for commercial applications. This reduction by 30% is known as the L70 point. The typical high-brightness LED circuit could last perhaps 45,000 hours before it will get to the L70 point. However, the lifetime of the typical LED power supply may only be 20,000 hours due to the failure of the aluminum electrolytic capacitor in the power supply. So in the end, it doesn't really matter how long your LED light might last if the power supply behind it can only last 20,000 hours. All aluminum electrolytic capacitors have these lifetime issues, not just in LED lighting. eStor's aluminum electrolytic replacements are significantly smaller, less expensive to produce, and last longer, enabling our licensees to potentially price disrupt the existing $4.6 billion US global market.
With our latest high permittivity solid-state dielectric material, eStor enables our licensees to manufacture capacitors that are substantially smaller, cheaper, and that last significantly longer than aluminum electrolytic capacitors. We believe that these improvements will create a lucrative value proposition for eStor licensees in the current multi-billion-dollar AEC market. Thanks for watching, and please visit our website for more information. We'll have more market-specific reports available soon and additional accompanying webinars as well. Thanks.